here at the CPAC convention 2013, and I'm with Brendan Posner. Okay, and he is chairman of the
Bucks County Teenage Republicans.
College, right? Okay, and can you tell us what you guys actually do, or?
Yeah, we're basically a group of teenagers. None of us are old enough to vote, but just because there's an age requirement on being able to vote, that doesn't mean we can't make a difference. So we make a difference in any way we can. So we're basically a group of teenagers that care about the direction our country is going, and we're concerned and want to do something to change it. So we do everything from knocking doors to making phone calls to stuffing mailers and doing everything we can to help save the future of our country, even though we can't make a difference at the voting booth.
So can you tell me like what the average age is?
I'd say 16 to 17. I mean, 15 to 17 is our most common age.
But not yet college.
Not yet college. We're one level below college.
I have to tell you, I think this is great. Okay, and it's funny because I can't even get a lot of the college Republicans to do what you're doing. And Bucks County, that's where in Pennsylvania.
North of Philly, yeah.
Oh, okay, north of Philadelphia. And so how did you all come here? I assume somebody.
Yeah, we raised money and raised money in Bucks County. We had a fundraiser, and we basically opened it up because we sent 4 teenage Republicans to CPAC last year. Thought it was an incredible experience. We got to meet some really cool people. We learned a lot too, so we thought it's definitely worth it. It was a great investment sending 4 people, so let's try sending as many as want to come. So we opened it up, ended up having 15 teenagers come from Bucks County. So it should be an awesome experience and gives us knowledge and experiences that are useful for us to go back home, go to Bucks County and make a difference in such an important county and such an important state.
What made you decide to become politically motivated at this age?
Well, for me, it was Obamacare back in 2009, I guess it was, or 2010. My 8th grade social studies teacher had a debate in class, and first thing he said was, would you support paying for the poor's health care? And of course everybody's like, yeah, of course. So then he said, well, if you have a 4.0 GPA and someone else has a 2.0 GPA, should you be giving 0.5 of your GPA to them because they have less than you? And of course everybody's like, no, we worked hard for that. So that's kind of what got it started for me, and then I sent an email into our county Republican headquarters. They forwarded it to Brian Devlin, who was the founder and chairman of the Teenage Republicans at the time, and that's kind of how it all got started. I mean, at the time of my first meeting, I still wanted to be a baseball player, and getting involved, it's completely changed my life, and that's one of the great things about this organization, and it gives you a chance to reach out and change people's lives, and not only make a difference politically, but make a difference in people's lives.
And did you actually recruit?
I haven't recruited all of them. Most of them I've recruited some friends. Most of the people, I can talk to people about our group, but the bottom line is the people here took the initiative and got involved. I can tell people we have this group, but that's not going to get them to a meeting. That's certainly not going to get them to a conference in Washington, D.C. And the people you see here are enthusiastic about making a difference, enthusiastic about knowing the issues, and enthusiastic about saving the future of our country.
Right. One of the issues that bothers me is the fact that we're a little over 16 trillion in debt, fast approaching 17 trillion, it's going to get higher.
Right.
And that debt is going to be passed on to all of you. And how do you feel?
Well, we're all working hard to get through high school right now. We all want to go on to college one day, and after college, we're all going to work hard and hopefully have a great job by then. But the thing is, we see that with the trillions of dollars of debt now, that what's happening today, we might be having to pay half of our paycheck to the government to be paying back what's happening today. We don't want kids to be there in the future paying 75% of their paycheck to the government saying, I wish I got involved, I wish I had the chance to make a difference, when it really could have been saved. And through the Teenage Republicans, we give people that opportunity to make a difference and tell them that this is what's coming down the road, this is what's coming for a country that expects to give the next generation a more prosperous and a more free country than the previous generation received, and we want to be able to save that. And it's disappointing that we have so many politicians who don't want to take the tough cuts and don't want to take those steps. They say we need to cut, but then they say when it comes time to cut, that it's hurting the middle class.
Right.
We need to make the tough decisions. We can't tax our way out of it. We have to make spending cuts and decrease the role of government.
Right. And like you said, when it comes time to make the cuts, they don't really want to make the cuts.
Right.
And many of the politicians are there just to get reelected.
Right.
So they don't want to hurt their constituents.
Yes.
So Another thing I want to throw out to you is some of the about term limits. What do you think on that?
I think it's an excellent idea. Our congressman in Pennsylvania's 8th Congressional District, Mike Fitzpatrick, he's for term limits. He's actually term limited himself. So I think it's a great way that it takes the whole idea of politics and being a congressman and being a senator becoming a career. I mean, the founding fathers didn't envision it for it that way. They envisioned the representatives to be of the people, by the people, and for the people. But when people become career politicians, they're not of the people, they're for themselves. They're for re-election, they're not for the people. And I think term limits are a great way to save that.
You got it. Can I ask, what are you all from the same school in Bucks County?
Not same school, same area though. So Bucks County, but not the same schools.
Well, somebody's doing a good job over there.
It's a great team of people, and it's really been an honor to work with all of them. They're incredibly hard workers.
Are your teachers supportive of this, or?
Depends the teacher. I mean, this is a county-based group, so we're not as involved in the schools, but we've been taking steps to start clubs in the schools that can then feed into our county-based club, which is the Bucks County Teenage Republicans, who you're speaking to today. But
right.
All it really takes is a few teenagers or a few teachers who'd be willing to sponsor those clubs.
And also, do you have a particular congressman who's helping you, or?
Mike Fitzpatrick, who's our congressman in the 8th District, who I mentioned before, has always been an incredible supporter. We were actually he invited us over for breakfast at his office earlier this morning. So he's a great guy, big supporter, and we're proud to have the privilege of having such a great voice in Washington, not only for us in the 8th District, but for future generations, of someone who's willing to make the tough cuts and knows what we need to do to grow our economy.
So in other words, this is all self-initiated.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, everybody here took the first step and got involved. Everyone here cares about where our country is going, and everyone here wants to do something to save it. So it's basically a group of people who care about the future of their country and are willing to put in the tough work to change that.
Right. Now let me ask you this: what would be your idea to get our economy back on track?
Well, I think we need to lower taxes and cut regulation. I don't think it's the government's role to be over-regulating, and I think obviously businessmen can make more overseas. They're going to go overseas. I think we need to show that America's open to business, that America's open to people starting new companies, especially small businesses. That's the backbone of our country. We need to cut down on the regulations, cut down on the taxes to make it easier for people to start these companies, and if they already have businesses, to be able to grow and expand those companies. The other thing we need is a stable environment for our economy, passing things like Obamacare. No one knows what's in it. It's going to be really hard for companies to expand when they have no idea what they're getting in 2014. So we need to create a stable environment, simplify the tax code, cut down on taxes, cut down on regulation, so businesses can say, this is where we'll be in 5 years, this is where we'll be in 10 years, this is what we can do to grow, this is how many new workers we can hire, and that's how we'll bring back the economy. Not by passing big bills like Obamacare that confuse people because no one read it, including the people who passed it.
Right, and nobody knows what's in it.
Right.
So, and obvious with Obamacare in place, our taxes are going to go up, and we're going to want to be paying more for health care. And not only with paying more for health care, there's going to be a lot less jobs available in the healthcare industry on account of it. And it doesn't mention the shortages and whatever comes out of this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you plan on going into accounting or a business? You seem to have an economic mind.
I do want to major in economics in college, but I mean, this country's given so much to my family and really all of us here in this great nation because of the freedoms and opportunities it offers. So I hope to one day get involved in serving that country, whether it be politically or just in any way I can to help keep the country great and save it from the path we're going down today.
Right. So because you seem to focus on ideas that surround self-reliance, individualism.
Well, that's what made our country great. If you have the government supplying for everyone, you have no innovation, and our country was built off of people who took a risk, who worked hard. And capitalism is the greatest economic system in the history of the world because to better your personal wealth, to better your personal standing, you have to better the lives of others. If you want to expand your business to be able to take in more money, you have to do that by hiring more people, by bettering your service. Through capitalism, by bettering your own life, you're bettering the lives of others. And I think we need to show people that capitalism is the best way to better your own life, and that government, while they can stand up and say, we can supply you with this, this, and that it's not the best choice, and that people can do much better for themselves on their own in the private sector with innovation and freedom, which is what our country is built on, than government handouts.
That's right. And also, I don't know if you're aware, but most of my viewers know that I'm an education major, and I'm very close to finishing my master's. Myself, I don't believe in what the other professors teach, and they actually, a lot of them are communist, okay? And, and when you go to college, okay, and they pass out, or you have to buy their curriculum, I turn around and say to them, Professor, well, that's capitalism.
Yeah.
So why are you preaching that you hate capitalism? It's like the hypocrisy. And a lot of them, what they'll do is they'll take those ideas and they'll push it upon the K through 12 system. The ideas of being reliant upon the government, this idea of collectivism. Have you noticed some of that stuff in your, say, grade school or your high school?
Well, I'd say the biggest example of the left leaking into our education system is global warming. I mean, in 6th grade, out of all things, global warming is something that increases government reliance because it automatically turns to more government regulations, and I think it's just a way. I mean, the Earth's temperatures have fluctuated naturally all along our history, and I think that through global warming, it's a way to turn people to the government away from the private sector, because it's looking to the government to help regulate the industries, to help subsidize new industries. And I think through that avenue, they're trying to get people to turn to government. In 6th grade, we had to watch An Inconvenient Truth, Al Gore's documentary. And at the time, being in 6th grade, you didn't question it because you're always taught to listen to your teachers, and your teachers are always right. But looking back now, the fact that he made us watch that is absolutely incredible. So just seeing things like that, of course there's other examples. Of course there's teachers who assert their opinions and things way too often where
it's
the
like
facts should be in place.
Slow indoctrination.
Right, absolutely. And we grow up in a society that, especially through K through 12 education, you're always taught to listen to your teachers, which is true. You should listen and respect your teachers, but to a certain point you should also be critical to what you're saying, do your own analysis and your own fact checking of what they're saying.
Right. And I'm going to throw this out to all of you. So the question was, how do you guys see the future of this country? How do you look at it right now? With optimism or fear? Or go ahead.
As of now, a little bit of both optimism and fear. Fear because of what I see going on in our country right now. The largest budget deficit ever in our country's history, a massive national debt, and just the overall direction of our country, the things like Brandon talked about, Obamacare. But I also see it with hope because of organizations just like this and the young generation coming to take charge and hopefully improve our country. So I feel like our generation really is going to move this nation in the right direction.
Anybody else want to weigh in? Okay.
I feel that our parent generation and generation before us, we look on what they're doing now with fear, but our generation is going to have to be the generation that the buck stops here, that we have to fix it, otherwise we're not going to have a country left. So we have to have hope with us.
Anybody else?
I guess I'd say hope, because when you come to something like CPAC, there are so many people, young and old, coming together and standing up for what we believe in. And we're kind of showing people that, no, we're not going to put up with everything going on, and you need to listen to what the people are saying, because we're leading our country in a really wrong direction.
So I think that this country is really, I look upon it with fear because it's really going down the drain. And unless you have good conservatives like us, the new generation, to fix it, we're never going to be able to stop the Democrats from just taking over and just going into one party. I mean, there's obviously, it's shifting so much, this country's shifting so much to the right, or to the left. This country is shifting so much to the left that we really need to get it back to the right and, really help it. And that's I feel what the younger generation is. We need to reach out to them and show them really what conservatism is, because until they understand what we really stand for, we just look like a bunch of, nuts. And unless unless we can get out there and exactly show our message and show it more eloquently, not change, maybe even become more conservative, I think that we'll attract a lot more younger people to the movement and get the country back on track.
Anybody else want to weigh in? Okay. And I'm going to say this only because I'm a Tea Party student recruiter, and I'm very close to a master's in education. And I'm going to say this to you. There's people at the professor level in my field who just want to shred the Constitution to bits because they have this general feeling that it doesn't work. And some of them are members of the Communist Party, and they have infiltrated our education system, our media, our government, and all of our institutions. But particularly with the education institution, because these guys are ones now who write your curriculum for the K through 12. And they lobby the legislators to pass it. So you have a K through 12 curriculum that centers itself around the idea of this collectivism and dependency upon government and whatnot. So my message to you right now is, I don't want to say take it with a grain of salt, but only because you're still in school and you have to get by, okay? And I don't want to cause an argument between you and your teacher or anything. But we just want you to know that this is what's going on. And in higher education, the professors who teach education at the colleges are liberal. I believe it's 22 to 1. You'll find 22 liberals to perhaps 1 conservative. So these are the people who have weighed in upon your lives. And that's why when I see all of you, it's like, wow, you guys have picked up on something, and you're actually standing out, and I'm kind of proud of that.
Oh, thank you.
So,
yeah, we're happy to be involved in making a difference in the country we all love. So.
Right. So I'd like to give you 20 seconds to give me a closer to where you guys go from here with the group.
Where the group goes from here?
Yes.
Well, in Pennsylvania, last election, 63% of young voters 18 to 29 years old voted for President Obama. That's nearly 2 out of every 3 voters voting for President Obama in the last election. And the 18 to 29-year-old voters don't always stay the 18 to 29-year-old voters. They move on, become the middle-aged voters, and we have a whole new wave of young voters coming up. And this is a trend we need to fix if we want to get another conservative in the White House to fix this country and make it the country we know it can be, because we're the best country in the history of the world. And the way we have to do that is a grassroots approach of students telling other students what the conservatives believe in, what we believe in for the future of our country. And take from Reagan that bold, optimistic vision, the vision that made you proud to be an American. Take what Reagan said, take those ideals, and tell them to people, not on a large scale, not in advertisements on TV, but around the cafeteria table. And if we have kids all over Bucks County doing that, if we have kids all over Pennsylvania doing that, and if we have kids all over the nation doing that, we can really make a difference in how this country votes, especially in the future, for years to come. So, thank you very much.
And thank you for coming on our show.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Whoever spoke, please say your name, spell it. I want to get a picture while you guys do that.
I'm going to give you my card.
Oh,
okay?
I have one too, so I'll grab it.
Okay.
You? Okay. Andrew Perrong, Andrew, and
Thank you.
Perrong, Perrong.
Acacia Raffle, Acacia Raffle.
Samantha Zinnen, Samantha Zinnen.
Joe Picozzi, Joepicozzi. Piccozzi. Thank you.
All right, great job. Thanks.
Brandon Posner, B-R-A-N. Oh, okay.
How do you say your last name?
Posner.
Posner. Okay. Is everybody here from the?
Yeah, everybody's Bucks County Teenager Book.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay. What's your name, buddy? What is it? Ian. Ian, would you go right in the middle here so we can see you? You can get closer together. Closer together, right? Ian, right in the center
You
there.
on this side as well.
Come this way. Good, good.
Jim,
Yeah.
let's get some of them this
Yeah,
way.
okay. You don't tell it. Let's go on this side. And let's see.
All right, so tell me your name, spell it.
Brandon Posner.